Greetings, YouTubes, friends and subscribers. I'm making a different kind of video today. I know a lot of you are waiting on the update on my spine surgery, and that's coming. But today's something totally different. Several days now. Today is June 21st, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day.
I'm with my lovely bride, Teresa, today.
Hello.
And we've been talking about this tragedy that happened in the state that we live in. We live in South Carolina. On the other side of the state in Charleston, on Wednesday evening, a young man went into a church, Emanuel AME Church, and murdered 9 people, including one of our state senators. He's behind bars today, and we're somewhat relieved that he is. But my wife and I have been talking a lot about this situation. We read the newspaper articles. We've watched the news clips. We've listened to opinions on how and why such a thing could happen. But I want to talk to you a little bit about perhaps the spiritual side, and let me, based on what we've heard and what we've been told by different news articles, different witness testimonies from what happened, it would appear something like this. The boy obviously was a racist, had been for a fairly short amount of time. Maybe 6 months to a year ago, he started having all kinds of racial hatred. Most everybody realizes the race relations have really suffered in the U.S. the last 3 or 4 years. It seemed to me we were on the right track for a long time, and it appears the last few years we've been going backwards. There's a lot of anger on both sides, a lot of hurt on both sides. And in this young man's case, that hatred and anger turned into murder in the most heinous, one of the most heinous crimes in recent history. So he hates black people. But let's just think about this for a moment. He lived over 100 miles away. I understand he drove over 100 miles. How many thousands of black people did he pass on the way to Charleston? For whatever reason, he did not choose to murder or kill them people. He could have went into several Section 8 housing authorities and found thousands of black people gathered. He could have went in. He must have passed 50 churches, 50 traditionally black churches on the way. In some way or another, we don't know why or how, but he ended up at Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. On his manifesto, his racist rants, he said that he was angry, he became angry over the Trayvon Martin situation with the rioting, the looting, the burning, the anger. And as I've engaged several people, African American people recently, I've found a lot of anger on both sides and a lot of hurt, and a lot of what we're seeing in our cities now is responsive type of situations where you have some blacks believing that white America is the problem. You have a lot of whites that think black America is the problem. You have our president that says guns are the problem. People think that entitlements are the problem, and so forth. But I want to submit some thoughts for your consideration today, and for those that may see this video. Dylan Roof was a hater, and he hated, and in his opinion, that black people were responsible for the downfall of our society, is what he said. So he felt the need to start a race war, which did not happen, at least probably not to the degree that he hoped would. What he did find, according to his testimony, when he got to Emanuel Church that day, that evening, was love. And he was not met with anger. He was not met with hatred. And I believe that he really thought that he would, because that's what he's seen on the news. The media shows us evil and violence from both sides, from blacks and whites. And the media portrays black people as troublemakers, and when we see the media doesn't show you the single mom down in the south side of Chicago that's trying to make ends meet for 5 kids. That's not what the media shows you. The media shows you black people burning cars and killing cops. And with white people, the media does not show you the missionaries and the people that have given their life to travel to Africa to build schools and colleges and hospitals, and they don't show you the billions of dollars that's been sent to Haiti to try to help black people around the world. The media doesn't show you the food pantries downtown, and the people that are out engaging the black community positively. They don't show you that. They do show you the KKK and the white people that are causing trouble, and they do make a big deal out of this young man. But what Dylan Roof found when he went into AME was love, and I think that shocked him. And he didn't know what to expect. And from his jail cell, and we're glad he's in his jail cell, by the way, and we're glad he's off the streets. And he said this, that he almost didn't go through with this murder because of the love that was shown to him. And not only that, the following day after he was arrested, a family member of one of the deceased came to the jail. And she was obviously upset, as we can only imagine anybody would be. But what she said was that she grieved for his heart. And she wanted to offer him love and forgiveness. And she advised him to turn to God for forgiveness. And so this really shocked him. And in his devious, murderous plan, this was not part of it. And I just want to submit some things for your consideration. Racism, and it very much exists in the United States on both sides, and I've seen it on both sides. I've seen white people, and I know white people that have made judgments about black people that they've never even met them. There's white people that absolutely ignore, including in the church that I'm a part of, not necessarily my specific church, but the Christian church. We absolutely ignore some of the contributions that black men and women have made to our country and our culture. And we make generalizations based on the actions of a few that do not reflect the actions of the black community in general. 99.9% of the black community would never hurt anybody. And I can tell you this, on the media right now, white people are being demonized because of the actions of a few. There's some white police officers that have made some really bad judgments, and the media has really ran with that. And I can tell you this, that again, 99.something% of white police officers are trying to help the community and make our world a better place. And you don't want to see a community without police officers.
No.
but the actions and decisions of a few have caused a lot of racial divide. And again, there's some blacks that have made judgments against white America based on the actions of a few. And I just want to submit this. Racism is simply an outward expression of hate. If people have hate in their life, they're going to find some outlet for it. And in this case, the man chose black people to take out his anger and his rage on. But black people are not his problem. President Obama says that guns are the problem, but we have thousands upon thousands of gun laws. And let me tell you this, more gun laws will not keep this kind of stuff from happening. You will not pass enough laws to make evil disappear in our society.
Evil does not care about laws.
That's exactly true. We can win an argument. You can engage, blacks and whites can engage in arguments over who has it worse or who has it better or who has the most privilege. But I can tell you this, it's not gonna make you feel better at the end of the day. If you winning an argument or proving your point to somebody, or your statistics that shows that there's more blacks on welfare or there's more whites that are racist, and if you can somehow prove that, or you can shut somebody up on the internet, it's not going to change evil in our society. I can tell you, because I've tried it and it doesn't work. But if you think, and I want to give this message to as many who will listen, if you think that black people are the problem in our society, or if you think that white people are the problem in our society, you're part of the problem in our society, and you're perpetuating the problem. Why is it that Dylan Roof ended up at that particular church out of thousands of places he could have been? Well, I don't know exactly, but I want to submit something for your consideration, because that was the only place on the planet that could have responded to the darkness and evil that was in his life with the equal amount of compassion and love. The only people that could meet the level of hatred with the level of love was those people in that church that day. And we grieve as America and the church with those people that are today, Sunday, worshiping in the place where 3 days ago their pastor lay bleeding and dying on the floor. And those people are now worshiping God in that place. That could be the only place on the planet that could do that. Maybe one of our churches would not have been able to do that. Maybe if he would have went somewhere and would have been met with anger, then it would not have accomplished the bigger purpose and the plan. I want to commend the people at Emanuel AME. First off, I want to express extreme pain and hurt. We hurt with you. We can't experience the hurt that you feel because we did not go through this situation. But the fact that you showed this young man love, that in America, we should jump on board with the Emanuel AME Church. Whether you're a Christian or not, whether you're a part of a religious affiliation or not is irrelevant. Whether you're black or white is irrelevant. Or whether you're a Baptist or a Presbyterian or a Pentecostal is irrelevant. But Dylan Roof, being an evil, evil man, this is what he said. He said that the love that them people showed to him, it had an effect on him. And it was not enough of an effect to make him change his mind, unfortunately. But that sort of love and compassion, it will change our world. Laws won't do it. Taking the guns out of hands of people won't do it. Winning an argument won't do it. It's not gonna happen. The only thing that will stop people from being evil is love for our fellow man. So I just want to leave you with that. But when darkness comes into contact with light, darkness doesn't know how to respond. And while Mr. Dylan Roof's actions were not changed that day, or at least not to the degree that caused him to change his mind of committing this horrible act of violence, he was affected by that. We can find somebody to blame. I heard something Jesse Jackson said the other day, that it was the boy's parents' fault because they raised him wrong. You can always find somebody to blame, and you can always find something to blame. But the real blame is evil and sin. That's what racism is. That's what murder is. It all comes down to evil and sin, and there's only one thing that can change that, and that's the love of God. And that's the only thing that ever will change. What's going on in Charleston today is pain and misery for a lot of people, but there's also something else going on in Charleston today. There's people of all different denominations, different religions, different colors that are holding hands and praying together today. And I hate it that it took this act of murder for that to happen. I just want to leave you with that to think about today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.